Well, I've just entered a wooded area just past the park where the cairn is situated in Queenston. And since this is a nice flat area, I thought I'd give you a little bit of a tour. Just playing with the gimbal controls. Practice makes perfect. Thank you. Yes, the biggest danger on this section of trail are the mountain bikers who come zipping along. This is first break on the Bruce Trail in the Queenston area. I'm still in these lovely woods. There are about 3 kilometers worth of these very peaceful woods. Haven't passed any hikers or mountain bikers in a little while. But I'm wanting to give my feet and my legs and my back a little bit of rest because we're in this for the long haul. So I think that's the best way to do it. Couldn't ask for a better day for day one of this hike. And so far, doing great. That was a pretty steep descent. So in this section, the Bruce Trail overlaps the Laura Secord Legacy Trail. Very important historical person during the War of 1812 think that's the one, between the British and the Americans over what would later be known as Canada. Well, we're back to shaky because I'm having some technical issues with my gimbals related to Bluetooth, and haven't been able to figure it out. And it's just, don't want to waste my energy on the trail. I'll figure it out later tonight. Meanwhile, here's a lovely source of water. And the trail carries on this way. But I've decided that this would make a great lunch stop. Well, I thought I was lost for quite a while. Not really lost, but following the wrong trail. I wasn't sure the Laura Secord Trail and the Bruce Trail were one and the same. And maybe they aren't every year, but apparently there have been some reroutes for COVID-19. But now I'm definitely back on a trail marked with Bruce Trail blazes. It's amazing how much less stressful it is, and how much less energy it sucks out of you when you're more confident about where you're going and that you're on the right route. Very noisy bridge crossing with railroad tracks on this side. Wow. I guess this is a highway to Niagara Falls. So this is known as the Screaming Tunnel.
My name's Brad Cosby.
Hi, Brad.
What I know is this tunnel, there's ruins over there. We used to be buildings, and the story goes that they caught fire and a woman ran out of there and she died in this tunnel.
Screaming.
Yeah. And this has also been on the Dead Zone, if you've seen that.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Christopher Walken.
Oh.
Yeah, so this was part of that.
Have you any idea how old this tunnel is?
Oh, I think we just reading today, I think it's like early 1800s.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Well, I must say I was really dragging. I was walking along this road here and feeling like I really didn't have much energy, and I figured it was time for a rest. So I found a super resting spot. I don't know if I can show you. There are two gigantic cement blocks. So I've climbed up on one. I've got lying on my backpack, and my feet are on the other. Here they are. Hello. And then I have this lovely little flower meadow over here. Really pretty. And it feels really good to be lying down. I've had some lovely conversations with people. On one of my rest areas, I sat with a young woman named Jamie, and we both commiserated about the state of the US government and coronavirus. She was really just very lovely to chat with. I enjoyed her company. And I also chatted with a couple out walking their dog. All in all, it's been a great day. Yes, my feet hurt. Yes, my hips are a little sore. Yes, I'm not as peppy as I hoped I would be. I certainly was at the beginning of the trail. But, I haven't hiked in a couple of weeks, and I know it's going to take some time to get my trail legs, as they say. But so far, I'm doing great. So here I am on my first night, cooking supper in this little, it's not really a campsite. In non-COVID times, it's apparently a ropes course for kids, I imagine, but that's all taken away for now. But it does make a great little cooking spot. As per advice, I'm quite far from my campsite, well, at least 200 feet. And what is for supper? Well, in my little mug, I'm making apple cider, and I'm also making couscous. Have to go because the water is boiling. Bye. Good morning. It's 3:30 in the morning. I've been awake for a couple of hours, listening to the wind. Maybe you can hear it. It's been gusting and apparently to about 70 kilometers per hour. You can hear limbs, branches falling. It's actually kind of cool. The weather forecast is rather ominous. Risk of severe thunderstorms and 2-centimeter hail. But so far, none of that has occurred, at least where I'm camped. I'm hoping I'll get some more sleep at some point, even if I sleep in later. But we'll just see how things go. Meanwhile, I've quite enjoyed my evening. It's been nice lying here, listening to the wind and the sounds of the forest. I feel very safe. Maybe it's a false sense of security, but I'm quite enjoying myself out here. Doing great. Good morning. Well, it's 6:45 a.m. on my second day on the trail. And what a wild night and wild morning it has been. There has been a severe thunderstorm watch in effect. The winds were blowing like crazy all night. And I now hear thunder in the distance. It has been raining. And I've been hearing all kinds of noises. Bangs and things falling, because there's also a hail warning up to 2 centimeters and wind gusts of up to 90 kilometers per hour. So it's pretty crazy. My tent is still standing, thank goodness. What is my plan? Well, I'm staying put for now. I'm not looking forward to having to break camp in the rain. Moving, I have a great raincoat that will get a workout, and it's going to be a warm day, so I don't really have to worry about being wet and cold. I'll just be wet. But such is the adventures on the trail, and I guess I'm kind of doing great. I mean, it is exciting, it is scary, lots of emotions, and check in with you later. Well, I hope you can hear me. Here's another update from Storm Central in the Niagara region. They say that when you are wanting to set up your tent, to always look up for widowmakers, which are large branches of an older tree that have the potential to fall on you in the night should there be weather. Well, I did do that. I did choose a spot. I looked up, and it seemed okay to me. I didn't see anything that looked problematic. The trees looked strong and healthy. I didn't see any dead branches. Well, I had to leave the tent about 15 minutes ago for my morning constitutional. Had to go. And I saw what was making some of the crazy noises last night. There was a tree that broke off at about 1 foot to 12 to 18 inches above ground and toppled. Fortunately, that tree toppled in the direction away from my tent, because had it toppled in the direction towards my tent, I would have been crushed, because I'm only about 8 feet away from the base of that tree. Also in the middle of the night, I felt something hit my feet at the end of my tent. I thought, well, maybe it's hail. No, it turns out it was a small branch that fell and hit the very end of my tent. So I can't see the full extent of the damage here, because when I went out it was still pretty dark. But when I finally leave this tent, which I'm not planning to do until the winds die down, I will take some photographs just to have a record of what really went on last night, because it's been wild. Well, I'm fully dressed in case I have to make a quick exit, and I'm just going to read a book or hang out here. It may be another hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, I don't really know, until the winds die down. But as you can probably hear, they're pretty wild at the moment. So, hanging in there. So this is my tent on the morning of the second day of the hike. Believe me, when I set it up last night, it looked a lot better than this, a lot more taut. Over here is what made one of the huge crashes in the middle of the night. That tree just splintered from the wind and luckily fell in that direction and got hung up in the trees, because as you can see, it is very close, barely 10 feet from my tent. What I felt hit my toes in the middle of the night was this branch, which must have been shorn, I suspect, shorn off that large tree. What I thought was hail, the large hail they're predicting last night, banging into the ground, making all that racket, was these fruits. I don't know if they're chestnuts. I'm not really sure what they are. They kind of look like limes, but they're not. And they're all over the ground in the area where I camped. So that's what was doing all the banging. I don't think I got any hail, except for a hailstorm of these tree fruits. Doing great.